I haven't slept in 4 days. We've been together since high school. 15 years of marriage. A quiet, happy life. Then she went on a 4-day surf trip with her girlfriends. And on the last night, she got intimate with a stranger behind an equipment shed. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is how I found out. Last week, her friends were over looking at photos from the trip. One of them said something she shouldn't have said. And in that moment, everything I thought I knew about my wife shattered. This is my story. I need to get this out, or I'm going to lose my mind completely. I haven't been able to sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see it. I replay the moment of discovery over and over. I imagine what happened, and it's destroying me from the inside out.
We met very young, end of high school young, that age when you think you found your forever person, and sometimes, against all odds, you actually have, or at least you think you have. We've been living our quiet little married life for 15 years now. 15 years, that's not nothing. That's a lifetime of memories, of building something together, of choosing each other every single day, or so I thought. At the end of June, she went on a 4-day surfing trip with some girlfriends on the West Coast. I didn't think anything of it. Why would I? We trust each other. We've been together since we were teenagers. She needed some time with her friends. I encouraged her to go. I thought it would be good for her, good for us, a little time apart to miss each other, to come back refreshed and appreciating what we have.
Everything seemed fine between us before she left. No major problems, no signs of trouble, just normal married life. We weren't in some crisis, we weren't fighting. We were just us, comfortable, secure, happy, I thought. But she met a guy there, some surfer. Attractive, I'm sure. Tanned, athletic, the kind of guy who probably hooks up with tourists regularly. And on the last night of her trip, they got together behind the equipment shed. And she performed an intimate act on him. She got on her knees for a complete stranger, while I was at home completely oblivious, probably thinking about how much I missed her. But here's the thing. Here's what's killing me even more than the act itself. It's the way I found out. And it was just last week. She's been home for weeks, acting completely normal, sleeping next to me every night, looking me in the eyes, pretending nothing happened. And I had no idea.
Last week, we were at home together. 2 of her girlfriends who were on the trip with her came over. They were looking at photos from their stay, laughing, reminiscing, and I was there too, sitting next to them, part of the conversation. Just a normal evening with my wife and her friends. Then there was a strange moment, a moment that I didn't fully process at first, but that my subconscious immediately flagged as wrong. They seemed to forget I was there, like they got too comfortable, too caught up in their inside jokes and memories. A photo of this guy came up on the screen, the guy, and one of her friends made a comment. She said something like, "That one you're not going to forget," with this knowing tone, this tone that implied something.
At the time, I didn't immediately pick up on what she meant, but it put this huge blank in the air, this sudden, awkward silence, and my wife's entire face changed. She got red, visibly panicked. She tried desperately to change the subject, move past it, distract from what had just been said, and that's when everything clicked. Everything went very fast in my head, all these pieces suddenly fitting together. The awkward comment, the panic in her eyes, the way her friends suddenly went quiet. I immediately understood that something was wrong, that there was something she hadn't told me, something about this guy in the photo, and she saw it on my face. She saw that I'd understood, that her secret was out.
And that's when I got carried away. I couldn't help myself. I demanded she explain to me right away what that comment meant, what was going on with this guy in the photo, why everyone looked so uncomfortable. And all 3 of them tried to brush it off, very awkwardly, very unconvincingly. They tried to calm me down, tried to tell me I was misunderstanding, tried to make it seem like nothing. But that made it worse, so much worse, because their terrible attempts at covering it up confirmed what I already suspected. At that point, I was absolutely certain something had happened. So I lost it a bit. I couldn't control my reaction. The girlfriends left immediately, practically running out the door, and I found myself alone with my wife. She started crying immediately, before I even said anything else, and I grilled her for an hour, a full hour of her crying, denying, minimizing, before she finally broke down and told me everything. Every awful detail.
I'm shocked. I'm humiliated. I'm completely destroyed. And now I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't function. I just keep replaying it in my head, over and over and over. She says it doesn't matter, that it was just a momentary lapse, a parenthesis in our relationship, something that happened far from here, far from our real life, far from her heart. She keeps saying it means nothing to her, that she's sorry, that it was a mistake she immediately regretted, that she never wanted me to find out because she never wanted to hurt me. She assures me they didn't do anything more than that he didn't touch her anywhere else, that it was just this one act and nothing beyond it. But somehow, that makes it almost worse for me, because it wasn't some drunken hookup where things got out of control. It wasn't a situation where they ended up in bed together and one thing led to another. No, she deliberately got on her knees. She deliberately performed this act. She gave him what I can only describe as the ultimate gift, the ultimate submission, the ultimate act of service. And she did it without expecting anything in return. She wasn't getting physical pleasure from it directly. She was taking pleasure only in giving him pleasure, in his reactions, in his satisfaction, in making him feel good, in being the one to do that for him. That's what's driving me absolutely crazy. The intentionality of it, the choice she made. How could she stoop so low? How could the woman I've known since we were teenagers, the woman I married, the woman I trusted completely, get on her knees for a stranger behind a shed at a surf resort?
And now I'm thinking about him too. This guy. He's over there somewhere, probably having a great laugh about it with his friends, probably telling the story of the married tourist who hooked up with him, probably doing this every week with different women. For him, it was just another easy conquest, another story to tell, a meaningless adventure that he'll barely remember in a few months. But for me, it's my entire world falling apart. She's not just some random girl. She's my wife. She's the person I chose to spend my life with. She's the one who was on her knees for this stranger. And I can't accept it. I can't wrap my head around it. I can't reconcile the woman I thought I knew with the woman who did this.
I don't recognize her anymore. She doesn't feel like the woman I married. When I look at her now, I see a stranger, someone I don't know, someone capable of things I never imagined. Every time she tries to talk to me, to touch me, to act normal, I just see her there, behind that shed, with him, making that choice. And the practical reality is crushing me too. We have a life together, a whole life. We have an apartment, a mortgage, a loan we're paying off together. We had a wedding. We made vows. We built 15 years of history. Friends, family, routines, a shared existence. What am I supposed to do with all of that now? Can I forgive this? Is forgiveness even possible? Can I forget what happened? Can I move past the image in my head of my wife with this stranger? Every time I look at her, will I see this? Every time we're intimate, will I think about what she did with him?
Why did she do it? That's what I can't understand. We were fine. We were happy, I thought. What was missing? What did this random surfer offer that I don't? Was it just the excitement of something new? The thrill of doing something forbidden? The validation of being desired by a stranger? Was our 15 years together not enough to make her think twice before making this choice? How can I understand her reasoning? How can I possibly get inside her head and comprehend what led to this moment? She says it meant nothing. But if it meant nothing, why did she do it? If I mean everything, why was she willing to risk everything?
And how do I repair myself? How do I rebuild my sense of trust, of security, of knowing who my partner is? How do I look at her without seeing betrayal? How do I sleep next to her without wondering what else she's capable of? How do I believe anything she says when she's proven she can lie to my face for weeks?
How do I move on from this? Do I stay and try to work through it? Do I leave and start over at this point in my life? Do I forgive her and spend the rest of our relationship wondering if she'll do it again? Do I hold this against her forever, poisoning whatever remains of our marriage? People say that physical cheating is about the body, not the heart, that it can be meaningless, that it's possible to separate physical acts from emotional connection. But I don't know if I believe that, because she made a choice. She chose to be intimate with someone else. She chose to give him something that I thought was reserved for us, for our relationship, for our marriage. And it wasn't some moment of weakness where she ended up in bed with someone. She literally got on her knees and served him. That's a deliberate act of intimacy. That requires intention, decision, follow through. That's not something that just happens. That's something you choose to do.
Her friends knew about it. That's another layer of betrayal. Her friends were there. They knew what happened. They kept her secret. They looked me in the face and pretended everything was normal. They came to our house and laughed and joked while knowing what she'd done. Until that one slipped up and made that comment. How many other people know? How many of her friends are laughing at me behind my back? The cuckolded husband who has no idea what his wife did on her girls' trip. I keep thinking about that moment when her friend made the comment, the look on my wife's face, the panic, the realization that her secret was out. Was she ever going to tell me? If her friend hadn't slipped up, would I have gone the rest of my life not knowing? Would she have taken this to her grave? Let me live in ignorance while she carried this secret.
Part of me wishes I didn't know, that I'd never found out, that I could still be blissfully unaware, thinking I had a faithful wife and a solid marriage. Because now I can't unknow it. I can't go back to who I was before I knew, before that photo, before that comment, before that awful hour of confession. The image is burned into my brain. I wasn't even there. I don't actually know what it looked like, but my imagination has filled in every detail, and it tortures me constantly, day and night, especially at night when I'm trying to sleep, and all I can do is picture it. Picture her making that choice. Picture him enjoying it. Picture my wife on her knees behind a shed with a stranger. I don't know who I'm more angry at. Her for doing it, her friends for keeping the secret, him for existing, myself for encouraging her to go on this trip, for trusting her, for being naive enough to think that 15 years of marriage meant something, that our vows meant something, that our history together was enough to prevent something like this. I need advice, real advice, from people who've been through this, from people who've had to decide whether to stay or go after the trail, from people who've tried to forgive infidelity, from people who've left and rebuilt their lives, from people who've stayed and regretted it, from people who've stayed and somehow made it work.
Can a marriage survive this? Can trust be rebuilt after it's been shattered so completely? Can I ever look at her the same way? Can I ever be intimate with her without thinking about what she did with him? Can I ever fully forgive this? Or will it always be there, lurking in the background, poisoning every moment? Should I even try? Or is this betrayal too fundamental, too intimate, too deliberate? Is the fact that she hid it for weeks proof that she's not truly sorry? That she's only sorry she got caught? I'm drowning here. I need someone to throw me a lifeline, to tell me what to do, to help me understand, to help me heal, to help me decide. Because right now, I'm paralyzed, unable to move forward or back,
just stuck in this moment of discovery, replaying it endlessly, unable to see a path forward.
If you've made it this far, thank you for listening to my story. If this resonates with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below and tell me what you would do. Have you been through something similar? Did you stay or leave? How did you decide? How did you heal? I genuinely need guidance because I'm lost and I don't know how to move forward from this moment. We share real stories like this every week. Stories about betrayal, difficult decisions, and trying to find a way forward when everything falls apart. If you want to see more content like this, visit our channel and turn on notifications. Remember, you're not alone, even when you feel completely isolated. There are others who've been exactly where you are, and somehow they survived and moved forward, which means maybe there's hope for me too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.